Hello and welcome to day 2 of the Pain Relief Challenge. How has day 1 been? How was yesterday? Just a very quick recap. Yesterday we talked about the importance of heat. We talked about the differences between heat and ice and when to use one and when to use the other. If you didn't see that video, you should be able to see the replay in this group. And I hope you are sitting watching me today with your heat on. So I hope you've got your heat on. I hope you were really taking that, just kind of taking it to heart, really. It's like, heat the heck out of it. It really makes such a difference. And obviously I talked all about that yesterday, so I'm not going to go over it again, but I hope that is helping. So here we are at day 2, and today, if you got your email this morning, you will see that we're talking all about braces, splints, and how they can help you be get pain relief. So this is the Pain Relief Challenge. This is about giving you fast pain relief, how you can get fast pain relief, and then how that then allows you to do the things that you need to be able to do in order to heal, because there are definitely kind of 2 prongs of attack to an issue like tennis elbow. Pain relief is one part of it, and it's the part that most people can get pretty quickly when they're doing the right things. Obviously you're learning that, a number of those things this week, and just one of those things can help decrease pain. When you put them all together, you get that cumulative effect that can obviously help much, much more. So, think about stacking these things together. Think about doing them all together, because you're going to get a much better effect if you do all of them and not just one. So today we're going to talk about braces and splints, and because there's a million different ones out there on the market. The research, because I always want everything I teach is evidence-based, which means there's research behind it, and I always like to explain the research because I'm a very logical person. It has to make sense to me here in order for me to either do it or, take it on board or whatever. And so I always like to explain it to everybody that I'm working with as well, because if you don't understand why you're doing something, you're not going to do it. It's just going to be like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. So the research behind braces, splints, supports, kind of those types of things, external things that you put on, they've obviously done quite a lot with regards to tennis elbow, and the kind of it really depends what the pathology is, because tennis elbow is a tendon problem. We talked about that yesterday. However, if you've had tennis elbow for 3 months or longer, you most likely have a nerve problem as well. And this is when we start to get into issues with braces and splints. No issues with the heat. We talked about heat yesterday. Doesn't matter what's going on, heat the heck out of it, you're going to be okay. Well, that's not totally true. If there's any kind of infection or active inflammation, that, like, if it's red hot and swollen, you don't put heat on it. But that very rarely is the case in tennis elbow. So anyway, I digress. Let's get back on track with the splints. The problem with splints is it does matter what the pathology is. If you have a nerve problem going on, there is a particular brace, support, splint, however, whatever you want to call it. There's a particular product that will make you worse. And so this is where we have to start being a little careful about, well, what is going on? If it's just tennis elbow, there are certain things that you can utilize. If you have a nerve problem, there are certain things you cannot utilize, but there are certain things that you can. So listen closely, because I'm going to go through all of those. The research doesn't necessarily split that out. When they talk about tennis elbow, they are just talking about the tendon problem. They're not talking about any kind of nerve issue that goes along with it. In my experience of 15 years of working with tennis elbow sufferers, if you've had pain for 3 months or longer, you've got a nerve problem going on with that too. Now, some people know about that. They feel nerve symptoms and they know they have an issue. Other people, not so much. It might be something that we kind of have to uncover. So just know that that can often play a part, and know that that can be part of the issue as well. So If we talk about like I'm going to talk about 3 different splints and supports today. The easiest one is just like a sleeve, like a compression sleeve. You know, sometimes it's just like a neoprene sleeve. You just kind of slide it on. There's no external anything else to it. It literally is like a tube. You basically like a tubey grip. They tend to be neoprene. Sometimes they can have copper wire sort of like infused in it, or all kinds of different things. A sleeve like that, it can help to keep your arm warm. So, you know, we were talking about heat yesterday, heat being beneficial. So it can help to keep your arm warm. However, depending on how tight it is on your arm, if you've got a nerve problem and it's squeezing you, it can make that nerve problem worse. So there is no sleeve or anything like that I recommend, just because if it's going to keep you warm, you might as well get the heat on it instead. That's going to be much better. And if you have got a nerve problem, it's probably going to make you worse anyway. It's certainly not something that you would want to wear at nighttime, because if there's any kind of compression on the arm, if it's putting a little bit of compression on the blood vessels, there's a possibility, you know, our circulation slows down when we're at night, when we are sleeping or when we're in bed at nighttime, and that little bit of compression on the blood vessels, there's a possibility that could cause a deep vein thrombosis, which we don't want to do. So you would never wear anything like that at night for that reason, and I generally don't recommend them. Having said that, if you've got one and you're wearing it and it makes it feel better, and you think it's helpful for you, that's okay as a short-term fix. You know, putting something external on like that, it's not going to cure the tendon. It's not going to heal the tendon. It's going to be an adjunct so that you can do the other things that you need to do in order to heal. But if you know that, hey, if I put this on, I can go out and play tennis and I feel fine, you know, that's okay. That's okay. Just know that whenever we put anything external on, so that's the sleeve, it can be the strap, it can be any kind of brace or splint, whenever we put anything external on, the muscles underneath tend to switch off. And as the muscles underneath tend to switch off, that can be how it gives us pain relief. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more as we talk about the next brace. But whenever we're switching the muscles off with something external, there is a potential danger there of weakening the muscles. And part of the rehab as you go through tennis elbow is gaining strength back and putting particular stresses and strains, strengthening exercises through there that are going to help to heal the tendon. So if you're putting something on and it's weakening everything even more, you've then got to come back from a kind of a lower point, if you see what I mean. So if you don't need it, don't use it, is the main advice. Now, the next most common splint, brace, strap is the strap that you can see around the forearm. People wear it around the forearm here. Now, this is sometimes confusing. People don't actually know where to put it, and sometimes they put it right over the tendon up there. It's got to go below. So it's about an inch and a half below, and you wrap it around the forearm, and it needs to be, these are the ones that literally just go around it. It's like a strap. Sometimes they have like plastic in them. You might see them called EpiClasp or something like that. And there's Velcro. There's a Velcro strap that you can tighten it up. Some of them have like a gel, and you think, oh, well, that should go over the bit that hurts. No, it goes below because that's where you need it. Some of them have gel in there. Some of them are fabric. Most of them have Velcro that you can tighten up. So those ones go around the forearm, about an inch and a half below where it hurts. For those to be effective, you need to have that on as tight as possible without your hand going blue or tingling, because obviously that is nerve or circulatory deficit. We don't want either of those things. But it needs to be tight. And the reason is the way it works is by putting the strap below the lateral epicondyle, below the elbow, as tight as possible, it takes the tension off the tendon. You're basically putting all the tension around the muscle there. You're taking the tension off the tendon. The tendon doesn't have any pulling on it. It feels better. You feel okay. So If you put this on and it feels good, it's feeling okay, it's feeling like it's helpful, that's what it's doing. It's taking the tension off the tendon. The tendon doesn't have that tugging on it. It feels better, and that's why you feel some pain relief. Now, if you put it on and it makes you feel worse, it could be that you've got a radial nerve syndrome, a radial tunnel syndrome, and the radial nerve is being squished as you put that brace on there. So take it off if it feels worse. If it's feeling worse, take it off. You don't want compression on the nerve like that. That's not gonna work out well. So if you've tried that and it hurts, take it off, don't use it, it's not right for you. But if it does help, then it is something that you can utilize from time to time. Remember I said about the first type of brace, when you put something external on, the muscles underneath switch off. This hugely happens with the strap. Because it's on so tight, the muscle underneath basically switches off because it's like, oh, something else is doing my job. I don't need to work. It switches off. It doesn't pull on the tendon. That's why you feel better. However, the muscles have switched off. They're going to start weakening. And we know that muscles start weakening within hours. So if you start wearing that all day long because it makes you feel good, and it's like, oh, I have no pain when I have this on, the muscles are weakening. You will always have to wear that brace. You'll never be able to wean off it. So we want to use a brace like that, the strap, strategically if you really need it. And so often with patients who have a very physical job or a very hands-on job, I'm thinking of, laborers, carpenters, chefs, people like that who are very hands-on, this can be helpful for them to utilize. And it would be when you are doing something that you know is going to hurt, you can tighten that strap up, do the activity, do whatever it is. Then once you finish that activity, loosen it back off. So I have some clients who will almost like wear it as like a bangle around their wrist when they don't need it. And then, oh, I'm now going to do this, whatever it is. I'm going to pull it up, tighten it up, do the thing, release it back down. That's the best way to use that type of brace or strap, because you are going to get less of the weakening. You're just using it when you need to. You're not going to get the irritation through the tendon, but we really want to protect the muscles. We want to preserve the strength in the muscles. So we want to make sure we're not affecting that negatively. So that's that type of strap. The research does show that straps, braces, splints, those types of things are helpful in the first 8 weeks of pain. So I know most people who find me, most people have this for longer than 8 weeks. You can still get benefit from it, but you need to know the parameters. Don't just think, oh, I put the strap on. Oh, my pain's gone. I'm better. You're not better. That tendon is still injured. You've just taken the tension off it by using the strap, but the tendon is not going to heal with the strap on like that. There's other stuff that you need to do. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So the third type of brace is this type. This is a carpal tunnel night splint. And so the way that you use this is your hand goes through it like that. There's a metal support underneath here. And then you've got the Velcro straps over the top. Now, notice I said carpal tunnel night splint. So this is designed for people who have carpal tunnel to wear at nighttime. So it's loose. Remember with the compression sleeve, we were saying we don't want anything too compressive, anything too tight. We don't want anything that's going to squish your blood vessels, even a little bit. So this can be worn quite loosely. What it does, it stops your hand going this way. So a lot of the time when people have carpal tunnel, if they sleep like this, that position puts a lot of strain on the carpal tunnel, and that can cause symptoms. And then people wake up, their hands are numb, and that's a compression of the nerve at the carpal tunnel. So this type of support or brace, it basically stops you going into that position, because there's metal here, you physically can't. That's as far as I can go, which would be about like that instead of here. So it takes the stress off there. Now the way it works for tennis elbow is it stops you going into this position. Now, this position, it compresses the nerve under here, it compresses the carpal tunnel. However, it puts the muscles on stretch and it can pull on the tendon when you're in that position. And a lot of people kind of sleep in this fetal position, they're kind of curled up, and they'll do this with their hands. That is putting these muscles on stretch. If these muscles are tight, which if you've had tennis elbow for any length of time, they're gonna be, pulls on the tendon, hurts the tendon. So a brace like this one, even if you don't have carpal tunnel, but you have tennis elbow, can stop the elbow pain at nighttime. So this is something that you can wear at nighttime. Now, some people do wear these during the day. If somebody is typing a lot, sometimes people do wear these if they're doing a lot of computer work. Some people find it beneficial, some people don't. It would be a case of try it and see. Remember, as we've said with the other braces, putting something external on is going to affect the muscles underneath. You are going to get a weakening of the muscles underneath if you have anything external on. Now, if you're sleeping at night, that's no problem, because these muscles are not supposed to be working all night long. They're supposed to be sort of resting and, you know, recuperating. So to wear something like this overnight is going to be completely fine. To then wear it all day long when you're typing and doing stuff, and then wear it all night and then all day long, you are going to get a weakening of the muscles if you're wearing this all day long. So again, ideally we don't want to wear braces, supports, straps all day long, but you can utilize them in a certain way that's going to help get you some pain relief. I hope that hasn't been too confusing. I hope that does make sense. So please let me know if there are any questions. I'm just gonna, let me get onto here and just double check. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Here we are here. Okay, all right, and okay, so please let me know if you have any questions about the heat that we talked about yesterday, about the braces, splint supports that we've talked about today. Add that into the routine. So you should be heating the heck out of it from yesterday. There are some braces that you can try and see if they will help to give you some pain relief. If they do, great, you can use them, but obviously it's a short-term fix. This is not a long-term, oh, I'm cured. It doesn't work that way. But if it helps you in the short term, it can definitely be useful so that you can do the things that you need to do in order to heal. So if there are any questions, don't hesitate to pop them underneath this video. And I will be back I'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back tomorrow with the next action steps. I will be a little earlier tomorrow. I'll be half an hour earlier than today. So it'll be 11:30 Pacific, which is 2:30 Eastern, which is 7:30 p.m. UK time. So I'll be 30 minutes earlier than I was today, but I'll be here doing the next action steps. Look out for it in your inbox if you've signed up. If you haven't signed up, there's still time. Sign up through my website. It's tenniselbowqueen.com/challenge, and you will get the recaps of all of the days that we've already done. So these couple of days, and then obviously moving forwards, you'll get the additional action steps as well. So let's see how we go through the pain relief challenge this week. I will see you tomorrow, and don't hesitate to reach out if there are questions. Take care. Bye.